one thing for sure, in the DA we've got a lot of good leaders. I wouldn't just say good, but I say exceptionally good leaders. And Mmusi is one of them.
He's a good leader in a way that he relates well with people.
He's a great guy.
He's a great leader.
He's somebody that has always wanted to be involved in uplifting his community and generally the people around him.
And so there's a great authenticity in Mmusi.
He is there with the people.
When he says I'm with the people, he literally is with the people. He understands the issues. He's what I call a Kasi boy.
And you just see the way the people relate to him, that he's made contact with them. In other words, he's with them and they are with him.
He's not pretending to be a Kasi boy. He really is a Kasi boy.
Democrats, I love this province. I love Gauteng because it is the province of greatness. But the potential of this province, it lies in its people. People like you and me. It lies in the potential of the DA. It lies here with you and I. Viva Gauteng, viva!
You need to be able to hear people. That means you have to understand them and then translate what you hear into the things that you believe you can do to make their lives better. And I think he has the capacity to do that.
He's the kind of a person who can uplift you.
Once we see him, once we see this car, we just scream and we're just happy to see him.
It reminds me often of a great Baptist preacher, who can make a crowd sing very quickly.
We love the way he campaigns for the DA. We're very proud of him, and he's positive towards South Africa.
In fact, he's a good motivator.
When he speaks, he is so inspirational that the world he tells you about, that the DA is going to bring, you actually want to be a part of this world. Otherwise, you feel like you're going to be left out.
It is time for us to reject corruption and choose jobs. Sifuna umsebenzi, we want work. Isikhathi soshintsho. The time has come to choose our own destiny. Lixesha lokuba sikhethe ikamva elitsha. Arichechele morahu.
One of the biggest challenges for this country is to get the economy of the country working and to get the young people of this country working.
In Gauteng, I believe the core issues that needs to be addressed firstly is unemployment, housing, and then of course corruption.
And anybody who doesn't understand that is going to be a liability to the cause. Not only the cause of the DA, but the cause of the nation, this nation-building effort that we have. And I think Mmusi understands it.
What the apartheid system did without fail is destroy and wreck the dreams of my parents and the dreams of so many like them. And that's why I voted for the ANC. You see, back then, the ANC embodied hope and it embodied change. We believed that the ANC would lead us to the promised land.
Make no mistake, I'll be the first one to tell you that in the last 18 years we have seen some improvement. We've seen more access to housing, to sanitation, to electricity. But the advances are being robbed by those who in fact are become corrupt, and they steal money that should have been designed for the advancement of South Africans. And I'm saddened to realize that today still the conditions for black South Africans have in fact in some ways not improved. It isn't right, in fact, that we stand on this field and 18 years later still the pitch is precisely the same as it was when I played right here, which is close to about 20, 30, 25 years ago. It's precisely the same.
You can see his emotions when he talks about the government failing to deliver to people. He's in it with you. You can almost feel like, oh my gosh, he's with his grandmother, talking to his grandmother, not having gotten a house, the grandmother still staying in a shack.
Some people don't agree with the political choices that we are making. They say we are betraying the struggle. But I want to say to them, the people who truly have betrayed the struggle are the people who abuse their power to make themselves rich. betrayed the struggle of our people. We are one of Democrats. ANC isilibele. Bare libetse. Ba inaganela ka bobone. One thing remains true. We didn't leave the ANC government. The ANC government left us behind.
I think maybe coming out of a township himself, he identifies with the issues better than somebody who maybe didn't grow up in a township.
And so the idea of social justice is a strong part of his personality and his commitments.
I find him to be a caring person.
I find him to be so tolerant of different people from different backgrounds.
When you care, you feel for other people, and so he can empathize.
You feel like he's a part of you. He's feeling what you're feeling.
Today we are making that change because I, like many of you, believe in the values of Nelson Mandela. The values of selflessness. The values that say we must have opportunities for all, not for some.
If you look at where this country comes from, and where Mmusi, for instance, comes from, you have no doubt that he means what he says. When he says we need to do these things, he means it because he's been there and he's still there.
I believe that Mmusi is my type of person, in that we get up in the morning and the purpose is to serve and to make South Africa a better place.
He's a hard worker. He's all over this province.
That's Mmusi's personality. That's how he is. That's how he comes across. That's who he is.
Most of the things that he says, I think he really mean it.
I trust him because I can see he's active, very active.
I like him because he's such a motivator for me.
Everybody who suffered under apartheid must benefit from BEE. Not just the friends and the families of politicians. Everybody who suffered under apartheid must benefit from BEE.
Apartheid wasn't just reduced to a hatred between blacks and whites. It wasn't just that. It had other implications. It had laws that in fact made sure that black South Africans were far from economic opportunities. It had laws that said that in fact black people weren't just given an inferior education, they were miseducated. It had the implications of land. These houses were just all the land people could live in. They couldn't even own it, just live in.
To make a success of our country, we've got to make sure that as many people as possible are part of the mainstream economy of the country.
We support land reform that gives people the land that was taken from them. We support social grants that lift people out of poverty. You see, Democrats, social grants must never make people dependent on the government for their survival. Social grants must be the first step to the ladder of prosperity for South Africans.
The odds are against him, but then you actually go out into communities, you see Mmusi in action, and people who necessarily haven't voted previously are saying now that Mmusi Maimane has come into the game, they're actually going to vote for him.
He has a huge influence. A lot of young people, they like him very much.
He's fresh. He's not the politician that we used to.
I think Mmusi's great strength is that he is able to connect the younger generation with the older generation.
They see him as the only person that they can easily identify themselves with.
Age-wise, he's right in the middle, but also he seems to be able to bridge both the world of being an adult as well as being cool enough for young people to identify with them.
He understands the township life, almost anything that young people of this nation are going through.
Democrats, I'm proud to call the Democratic Alliance my political home. It is a party that is working to make a difference to all South Africans and make South Africa a better place.
He doesn't discriminate, he's South African, and he's going to break up that stigma that people think that DA is for whites, and DA is not for whites, it's for us black, it's for South Africa.
You have to understand that DA is not for white, it's for all of us.
Walking in a township maybe 5-7 years ago, you wouldn't see people walking around in DA t-shirts, and today it happens. So I mean, it speaks to the growth and it speaks to the confidence that South Africans across the board have in the DA.
We have an approach in the DA which says, lend us your vote. Don't give it to us. Lend us your vote. Lend us your vote for 5 years. And because we have said certain things to you, because we've made certain promises to you, and you then hold us to account during the 5 years in which you have put us in office. If we fail you, you have the freedom next time to take your vote and give it to somebody else.
DA is going to bring back democracy. Mmusi Maimane, he is going to do that for us.
Let us bring hope. Let us bring about change. Let us bring about a new Gauteng. Let Gauteng be great. Let Gauteng be for the people. Our destiny is in our hands.